Hi guys, Dave here from Wolf in the Wild Survival. Haven't done a video in a little while, partially because I've just been lazy, just being lazy, partially because I'm a night guy and it's kind of hard to get out into the woods in the daytime. As it is right now, the magic hour is done and I'm almost out of sunlight, so this is going to be a quick video. And number three, I just didn't know what to do. I just didn't have anything all that interesting, I guess, to do. But I was going through some of my old playlists, and I realized a while ago, like more than a year, I started beginner's sort of primer to the 10 C's of survival. I got the first 5 done and never did another video. So today, we're going to talk about compass. And my generalized take on the whole thing, my ideas, and my advice. I am by no means an absolute expert with the compass, so I'm just going to be sharing a little bit about what I think and advise you to do. If you want to learn how to use a compass properly, plenty of videos to do that. I recommend you checking out multiples of them, not just one, because it's always good to kind of check out a few different ones, and maybe even do like a quick Google search and read about it as well. So let's have a seat in my bushcraft chair where I've got my coffee, and we'll talk a little bit. Before I actually get started on the video, I just want to make mention of something. Some of you might possibly pick up on these are cheap compasses, okay? And before any of you call me out on it, I know they're cheap compasses, okay? They're just the first thing that I grabbed. They are not my compass, okay? I didn't want to dig into my bush bag and grab my compass. I grabbed the ones that I let my kids play with to start getting them used to using things like this. I don't recommend these specific compasses, these brands, you know, kind of whatever. It's just for the video. And I feel that I have to say that because I have the odd person here and there in my comments calling me out on the absolute dumbest things. Absolute dumbest things. I had a guy getting all bent out of shape because I brought a coffee on my Dollar Store Survival Challenge, amongst other things. And, you know, I got up early in the morning to go out. Yeah, I brought a coffee. Of course I did. And, you know, I mean, how much did it cost you to watch that video? I mean, really, how ripped off do you feel? Okay? To those people, I say, get a life. Besides, my family's from Finland. We drink a lot of coffee. Get over it. But, onto our regularly scheduled program. There are many different kinds of compasses. The more common of the two, at least that I would recommend, would be your base plate compass and, oh geez, what are these called again? I can't remember, but it's like a little Boy Scout compass, kind of whatever. It's button compasses, for the most part, are garbage. Even the good ones don't really seem to work that well for that long. Now, the one that I have, I believe, is a Sunto Ranger, I think it is. And I would recommend that one. It's a great compass. Of course, it was made in Finland, so, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that's the way to go. But, I mean, all jokes aside, a base plate or one of these fold-up ones, kerosene-filled is preferable over water-filled. And for the most part, you get what you pay for. If you go and buy, like, a budget compass, like one of these things, you probably are not going to get that accurate of a compass. Now, for a lot of people, that'll be okay. That'll be generally fine. just, I mean, you keep a basic idea of where you are, what direction you're traveling, where the roads in your area are, or bastions of civilization, and hey, I've been traveling in this direction, I got lost. I generally know that if I travel east, I'm going to hit like a highway or something somewhere, and they're okay for that. But advanced compass use, you're going to want something better. I prefer the base plate compass, partially because most of them have a magnifying glass on there, which could be handy for reading maps and whatnot, but it's also great for starting a fire if you're, say, in the right area at the right time of the year. Where I'm from in Canada, you're probably going to need a super, super powerful magnifying glass to get the sun to light a fire in the wintertime. Sun's not that strong, you're going to need to focus it down an awful lot. In the summertime, oh yeah, it'll definitely work. So, you kind of have to keep that in mind too. So, okay, it's okay. It's got measurements on the side as well, in inches and in centimeters. Once again, in Canada, it's kind of weird because a lot of us still use imperial measurements for a lot of things. And when I first started school, we had imperial for the most part. We switched over a couple of years after I started school to metric, and on top of that, I was also like a general contractor and a carpenter for a number of years. Everything was done in imperial. So it's nice to have inches on one side, and it does have centimeters on the other side. And it's got a basic, like on the edge here, it's got a 1 in 50,000 measurement mark, which a lot of maps are basically made in. It seems, so that you're more, it's easier to show how many kilometers you're working with, and that's what this is in, is kilometers. It's not in miles. But I'm sure for my stateside friends, I'm sure you won't get something in kilometers like this. Now the fold-up compass, it does have a small magnifying glass right here. Not good enough to get a fire going by any stretch of the imagination, no matter where you are. Okay, I don't even know why it's there, to be honest with you. I think it's more just for lining up when you're taking your bearing. Does that have a rotating? Yeah, it does. Rotating bevels. Always make sure you get a rotating beveled, which will help you to. When you're trying to navigate, a lot of the time they say to put your red in the shed, which is your north line, kind of whatever. I'm colorblind, so I'm assuming the red is the longer line than the shorter line or whatever. I don't know. I can't tell you that. Red and green look the same to me. It's just a thing. But anyway, for this one here, it's a little easier to get an exact reading than it is for here. Totally possible. But it's a little bit easier for this one here. You hold it out, you've got your little aiming guide here, you figure it out, okay, there's that birch tree over there, and that is exactly in line to where I want to go, and you go to that birch tree and you make your next measurement, and that's what these are generally good for. It's a little bit easier to pinpoint your bearing or your azimuth exactly. For the most part, I find I don't really need that pinpoint accuracy, so I prefer the base plate. But I mean, for the purposes of an introduction to the 10 C's of Survival, episode whatever, I don't even know, for compasses, that's basically it. Get one of these or one of these. Backups are always good, but those button compasses, don't even worry about those. Don't even go for those. And for all intents and purposes, a lot of like the old like army guys or military guys, whatever, they still have some of their compasses that they were issued from their service period, and those things are practically bomb proof. If you can find one of those in an army surplus store somewhere, I recommend one of those because they've got lasting power, they've got staying power. You can buy a cheap one, but you drop that one too many times, or you know, whatever happens, you're just going to pay to replace it. A bomb-proof one, you can't go wrong. So yeah, other than actually using a compass, which I suggest that everybody looks into, everybody does. You know, learn about your azimuth and your reverse azimuth. Learn about, you know, whole red in the shed or dog in the house or whatever it is that they call it. It's definitely a good idea to have at least a little bit more than a rudimentary knowledge of using a compass when you're way out in the woods somewhere. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was at least helpful, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.